Keeler is a kindergarten to grade 6 school servicing the community of Forest Heights. With approximately 330 students, we house regular program students along with both an L&L and PLP program for grades 4 through 6. Keeler is fortunate to have a fully operational, transformed learning commons space, which is becoming the center of our school. This space is where I call home. Here, I work in collaboration with all teaching staff, providing support in areas such as task design, technology integration, and instructional implementation. As a learning leader at Keeler, my emphasis has been not only to foster a variety of independent relationships with both staff and students, but to also help build an environment where teachers feel they can improve their practice in the company of their peers. This is achieved through both our work in PLCs and through accessing the Learning Commons and its resources. Working with the grade 5 teaching team, consisting of 2 community teachers and 1 L&L teacher, we set out on a collaborative journey to create an authentic and engaging task for grade 5 science on the topic of electricity. Traditionally, one of the 3 teachers is responsible for the planning, delivery, and assessment in science. However, through this journey, the teachers came together and all agreed to attempt a different form of delivery. The school recently purchased a technology called Little Bits, which are tiny electrical inputs, wires, and outputs. Here is our journey. Using collaborative planning time, the 4 of us met to discuss the direction of this project. First, we identified that students needed to understand the importance of safety when dealing with electricity. After several days of classroom instruction and activities, students demonstrated their understanding by creating a safety video for a chosen area of electrical safety. From here, students learned how to properly connect wires from an input to an output in order to create a working electrical circuit. Next, the students were introduced to Little Bits, but not in a traditional stand and deliver way. This was new for the teachers. Instead, we told the students 2 things about the Little Bits. First, that they were magnetic, and second, that there were inputs, wires, and outputs. The kids were a little shocked, but we explained to them we wanted them to learn how to use them just like we had. To increase student engagement, we showed them the following video. Little Bits are an open-source material. Using their task cards, students explored how these bits worked. But before implementation, the 4 teachers met as a group and worked to create an environment where kids could both work at their own pace and also demonstrate their understanding. Through collaboration, we created a task card checklist, including video response check-ins, a wonder wall reflection, and an idea center.
The battery flows through to the fan, then it flows through here, which can make it stop and light. If it's on, then it can flow through.
These additional tasks were included in, particularly at the request of the L&L teacher, to ensure that her L&L learners could also experience success in completing their responses.
What I really liked about this project was that all of the students could interact with each other and participate fully, whether they were L&L students or community students. It didn't matter if students were able to confidently write or read, they could participate in this and work as a group.
Also, during this discussion, all of the teachers expressed interest in being part of this learning journey, rather than having the science teacher complete this during her assigned blocks. The teachers became flexible with their schedule, adjusting their timetables to utilize the resources and maximize how many teachers could become available to support the task. Essentially, the teachers were ready to take a risk and try something new with each other. The final task in their checklist was to use a power source in any 4 bits. This led into the planning stage for their final task. On their next visit to the Learning Commons, the students engaged in a brainstorming task to help them generate ideas for their final assignment. This framework was generated through informal conversations amongst the 4 teachers. Photos were taken of each of the group's findings and shared in their science class the following day. From here, a design template was given to students for them to brainstorm their perfect idea. All of the designs were placed in the hallways outside of the Learning Commons. Students wrote their name on 3 sticky notes and placed these on their 3 favorite ideas. Their choices helped the 3 classroom teachers work together to form the students' final task groupings. Once groups were formed, as a team, the 4 of us met again to reflect on the plan for the students' final performance task. We challenged students to make something that does something. Using Wiggins and McTighe's GRASP performance task template from Understanding by Design, we planned an assessment that was open enough to meet all ability levels and allow students to choose any direction they thought of. Students were given the goal of demonstrating their understanding of how circuits work by creating a working widget and explain what it does. They also needed to develop a pitch or presentation to present their product. Criteria for this was co-created with our students. We provided the students with standards and criteria for success. The rubric was created with the 4 teachers working as a team using the resource Building Better Rubrics. This journey resulted in 4 teachers shifting their role from sage on the stage to guide on the side, enabling their students to learn authentically through a design-based and inquiry-based challenge. Upon reflection, the teachers identified both areas of strength and challenges that they would like to work on in the future.
This has impacted my teaching by definitely helping with team planning. We've been able to work better together. It's allowed us to be more flexible, and at the beginning of the year we were very much social was one teacher and science was another teacher, and now we've definitely collaborated more together to teach both subject areas, which has allowed more flexibility in both knowledge for both of us in both subject areas as well as to know what's going on.
It's definitely taught me to do more group work, and that kids can really thrive just through experiencing and exploring and learning from that. Challenges were definitely getting them to be independent in those groups, so we would definitely have to practice those types of skills before we managed another Little Bits project.
This experience was a great journey for teachers to experience what it's like to learn in the company of their peers. I enjoyed getting to work alongside these teachers, grow alongside them, take risks, and build capacity in our teaching practice.